Yo! We got a cat! He's a cat! Meow! Cat time! We love cats! Meow! Okay, we got power rankings. This is power ranking time. Frag's here, Dynamic here. He's drinking a tall ass water, bruh.
For sure.
Yeah.
We got our knockout guys. We're gonna rank everybody still, and then we'll do a little combined thing at the end with the teams that are still here because fuck it. Starting with the East. Let us look a little bit. So I'm thinking, because two of these guys aren't here. Rhodes and SPG are just not a thing anymore, so we can just like ignore them. I think because like they're fake. These guys are frauds.
Yep.
Toss
In fact, they're getting a little strike through. They're getting a little strike through. Yeah, no, you're right. Bang, they're off the screen. You haven't seen them no more.
Gone.
Next up, who's at the bottom now? We had Shanghai at the bottom. They ain't play no more. Nothing
still
changed.
at the bottom.
They're still at the bottom.
Quite bad.
Pandora didn't play. They're still at the bottom. So Dynasty still at the bottom. Now we have a crossroads. Dreamers. After upsetting the Guangdong Tigers, where do we have them?
I don't know if that is a consistent result. You know, against Guangzhou, I don't know if that's a consistent result. I kind of think that if you ran that simulation a bit more, you get Guangzhou on top.
It was an anomaly.
It wasn't an anomaly. I think that Dreamers can win that probably 4 out of 10 times, probably. But I think Guangzhou should often come out on top. They're probably the better team.
So, with that in mind, do we put them above Poker Face now?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they deserve above Poker Face for what they've done.
See, I'm okay with saying they don't deserve that, to be honest with you.
Oh,
but this is the thing, because I think Dreamers are like we called them London last year. Last week rather. They literally are. They have higher potential.
You called them London.
Okay, well I'll call them London again. Okay. Except they didn't even win off the rush. But they have a higher potential than Poker Face maybe. But I think Poker Face is still a more solid team. However, it is very tough to put Poker Face below them. I guess Dreamers. Okay. I guess we can deserve it. Fine. Because I think,
also.
Yeah.
Individually, the Dreamers players probably looked the best they've looked all tournament.
Yeah, Spectra was insane.
Last weekend.
Spectra looked good.
Easy Han looked great too.
And then against the Spark, they all hit a fucking brick wall. But I mean,
okay, yeah, they were not gonna win that game no matter what, bro. They were like, cheering for second.
So I guess it's a this angle, right? Unless you want to start putting Dreamers above O2 Blast, Dallas Fuel.
I don't think so. Not yet.
Or not ever.
We can't. Not ever, yeah. I think it's O2 Blast is next. Also.
O2 Blast? It's either O2... This is next 3 or these 3.
Yep.
These guys.
And I like that order.
Yeah, I think that's fine. And then we know the next 2 as well. So...
Do we think that's fine?
Because, okay.
I think so, yeah.
I was high on Dallas last week, too. I thought they were going to beat O2, and they did.
Yeah.
It was 3-1.
Pretty handedly.
And they got crumpled by Inferno, which was going to happen in the end anyways, really.
Yeah.
They looked good for this tournament.
Yeah.
Like, they got second to qualifying for it, and I feel like next tournament coming up, their coaching staff really has realized where they get the value with their players and what to do strategy-wise, I feel like.
Hold on.
Nerd emoji.
Hold on.
Earthquake.
They did know what they were doing, and then they stopped putting MCD on Moira. They stopped putting MCD on Moira, and we saw a significant decrease in their performance.
I don't know if that was necessarily
because
they lost the plot. They knew
overall
they had a good plan going. And you can already see that the teams in the West have started adopting Moira, right? Like this last week, we saw a lot more Moira, and I think it's because it is strong. The thing is, Dallas stopped playing it and then started to look weaker again.
They got exposed by MN3 on Bastion. They started shitting in their pants.
Yeah.
And they started crying about it. And then they said, we got to go back to Edison on Sombra. And Edison on Sombra is subhuman, right? He is awful on that character.
Yeah, there really is just one less damage player in the lot.
Like, I can't believe that it took one singular man on Bastion to send their entire enterprise crumbling.
Yeah.
So I think that the choice not to go with Moira was not because they didn't like the comp. I think it was more of a stylistic choice for the match. I feel like they just knew they weren't going to win on the Moira comp.
They had a more competitive series against Inferno.
Even if
the
you're
left.
having a more competitive series, that doesn't necessarily mean you have a higher chance of winning the entire match, in my opinion.
I don't
hear
know
me
how
out.
you can get there.
I feel like they still understood that the Moira comp is good. Because it just makes no sense where
A
they just
competitive
randomly stop.
series means that they just lost a couple key fights on a couple of their maps.
They got blown out.
Throwing
bro.
out the
They got
throwing
blown
out the
out, yeah, they got
playbook
blown
and
out
then
for,
going to a comp that hasn't worked for you all season is pretty ballsy and actually shows poor coaching. I don't even
Listen,
know.
I have my
the thing
fingers
is,
crossed that they go back.
I don't even know if Moira was intentional by Rush, or obviously intentional. But
He
I don't know if it
accidentally
was like
stumbled onto Moira. Like, what do you mean?
no. I think that he's just like MCD try Moira, and then it ended up being good. And then teams in the West were like, "Holy crap! Wait a second, guys, have we tried Moira yet?" And then they tried it, and here we are. Now we have Moira, but Rush said no more. I don't know.
I think Charge are still the best out of these three. That's what I think. Because
Why?
Choi Sewon had a bad game. He had a single bad game this entire season. It happened to be in the lower bracket final. That's tough.
That's a really
tough.
bad game. That's a
However,
really bad game.
That's a tough
bad
one to
game.
not have a good game. Yeah. But, I mean, he's the entire team still. But the team is still, on average, going to be better than the Dallas Fuel. I feel like, one bad game at an inopportune time across, 5, 6, 7, 8 games? 1 out of 8 games was bad. 12.5% chance to lose. Well, that's not exactly how that works. But to lose badly, I don't know. I feel like Dallas, we're heading in the wrong direction. Charge are heading in the same direction they've been this entire thing. They've never stopped going on that highway. You know what I mean? There's no turn off.
Yeah.
So I like the Charge more than Dallas still. And O2
Sure.
Blast, I don't
I'm
really
honestly
know what
gonna
you-
that
happened.
as well.
you
The Troy off game was real.
Sure. Yeah, you've sold me. We can put Charge up.
I don't even know what to say about O2 Blast. Like,
They got owned.
They
They're
got-
frauds.
they got kind of sauced. Knife didn't have a good weekend at all. And everyone's like, there's so many Knife enjoyers, and he didn't even play that much, I guess. Neither Knife nor Top Dragon. I don't know what happened with O2 Blast. They lost the plot somewhere. Because they lost to Edison Sombra. Like, how do you go 5 maps? How do you
That's
go the
what I'm
distance against Infernal? And then
They lost the
lose.
plot. They lost the plot.
How do they both lose the plot? I don't get it. Maybe they never had the plot the whole time. Maybe the plot wasn't there.
That's what I was saying, bro. It was low-key a fraudulent team.
Maybe the plot wasn't there.
Their tank line was Marvel attack, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was a good tank
Marvel
line.
should be
It was
picked
a-
up.
It was a good rotation.
Marvel is a free agent currently not signed with O2 Blast. His contract has expired.
Currently signed with Soul Dynasty.
Currently signed
I'm
with Soul
kidding.
Dynasty.
Might be. I want Shanghai.
He's getting picked up. I guarantee you he won't be on O2 Blast.
Please, bro, get rid of the
Well,
front tank.
you
It
can
is an
guarantee he's not on
embarrassment on
O2
his
Blast because
career.
he's not on O2 Blast
Yeah.
right now. He's officially gone.
Uh,
I would like to see him go to Shanghai, but I
Yeah.
fear it's Soul Dynasty.
Shanghai or Seoul would be nice. I think there will be some shakeups going on in APAC in this mid-season break, however long it is.
For
so
sure.
We'll see what goes
Okay,
on.
let's move on.
Can I make an argument for Spark over Infernal? Is that a thing I can do?
No,
Sorry.
Yeah,
no, we haven't
I
seen
don't
the
know
results
how
yet.
you could see Spark.
We
being
just
better
haven't
than
seen
Sorry.
the long-term results of Spark being good, and even Spark dominating
Dreamers.
Dreamers. That's dominating Dreamers. You are dominating a bunch of veteran
It was
talents,
the biggest
MVP level
domination
players
in the
are
entire
dominating
season.
contenders players. So
That was a
I mean-
beatdown bigger than
it was a beatdown for
than
sure.
Atlanta on Vegas. That's how big this beatdown was.
Yeah, but it doesn't make
It
me
doesn't
put
do
Spark
anything. Yeah,
above
fine. It
Infernal.
doesn't do anything. I think Spark is very good.
Yeah.
What I'll go with.
No, I'd like, and I agree. I'd like to see them continue to succeed, please.
One thing we're
I would-
talking about Soul. Or wait, go ahead first, Dynamic. Unless
I
you're
would
gonna
have
blow.
been more surprised if Spark looked even remotely close in
Yeah.
the finals to qualify for the final. This was it for them. They were going to be prepared for this. It was gonna be a beatdown.
Sure. One thing about Soul Infernal is that Zest had a very good game against Dallas. It was his best game of the year for sure. And if that's like a sign of how he's gonna do moving forward, then that's a really good look for Infernal. Because honestly, Zest he's been good, but I don't think he's been great. Like he's not been in that Choice A1, that MN3 conversation for best DPS in APAC. He wasn't there.
He
But
was there last year, I'd say.
last year for sure.
This year, he's got to turn up.
yeah, he's not. He wasn't on that MN3 or Choice A1 level tier or leave as shy, whatever you want to say. But he was last weekend. So if he keeps that up going to next weekend or next like the mid-season madness, will go crazy. That's all I have for the East. So we're good with this. Pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm good with that for the East. Sounds good to me.
Now looking at El West Grande, we have some easy things first. Vegas are still ass. Valiant are still ass.
Vegas, Valiant, yep.
Then it's Toronto. How much weight do we want to put on Toronto's poor performance here?
So, yeah, it's kind of sad.
I think because London didn't qualify, we should just toss London at the 11th.
Really?
Because Toronto looked competitive with Nixel. And that was with
they fell apart.
It was pretty bad.
Toronto had one game plan, it seemed like Toronto had one game plan most of the time, and if that game plan didn't work, they kind of were thrown for a loop and like kind of lost like the map, right? And you saw that kind of with Havana, and you kind of, I feel like there might be, I mean, there's definitely a lot of pressure on this team for sure.
Yeah.
But you definitely saw in Havana, this team was not clutch. They were anti-clutch. They full held for 3.5 minutes on Havana first, and then allowed Nixel to full cap the map twice. Wait, did they full cap a second time?
I think
can't
they got
remember.
the 5th.
It was really
but they got the 5th. They got to Havana last.
Push.
And it's just like, how do you let that happen?
London
how
don't
do you
that.
let that happen?
London closed the door on them. London shut them out of the series.
Majed was in,
Was not
and although
good.
he lost,
Majed came in for a map,
although
but
he lost,
that's a ping map. I mean, he's still 90 ping.
they were able to play on a carry comps now.
Yeah, but it didn't
wasn't
even look
impressive.
good.
It wasn't even good.
I don't think I think it was a Hail Mary.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't think
wasn't- yeah.
I doubt Majed's been getting serious scrim time yet.
Exactly.
If he has, he's gotten like a couple days maybe worth of scrims, and that's like subbing in on a map or two, right? That's not full scrim time. I'm really excited to see his team after the break when Majed is probably like I'm hoping in Canada.
He should be.
Yeah, definitely disappointed against Excel. I think that was a very winnable game. We definitely should have won at least 2 maps there. Havana should have been 1.
The Havana fumble lose.
And then we would have had another loser's pick, so it's just sad. I'm good with doing Toronto than London. I think
it is Toronto than London still.
Go for it.
I think London is just a bit more consistent, if they're running their brawl lineup, right?
Yeah.
And they were at that.
And they were.
But the ceiling for Toronto's roster, I think, is still high. It's just a matter of we got to see it put together, man. The sandwiches we're seeing put together and built right now are falling apart.
They got 2 slices of bread, and that's not on the top or the bottom. You know what I mean?
Ailing Subway franchise.
Yeah, for real. That bread's barely even bread.
Okay, moving on.
San Francisco Shock. We saw some Orisa.
A better Shock. We saw a better Shock.
Orisa
I want to put them
good.
above Nixel. I think Nixel is next.
Well, the next group is what? New York, Shock,
Titans.
New York, Titans.
Justice.
Probably still Washington, yeah. And then these are very clearly the 5.
Top. Those are the top, yeah.
Okay. So
I'm good for
these
Nixel
4.
Shock.
Nixel then Shock?
I like Dynamic's point. I'm good for Nixel Shock. I think that Shock showed not only signs of life, but they showed clutch. They showed like players all playing well. I think Heesang had his best weekend, honestly, this whole year, is what it felt like for me.
Sure.
I think when he was on the May, he was doing great.
He was doing all right.
But mostly impressed by Junbin, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And at the backline, I think they found they're kind of funny with their little Moira, huh?
Their little
Moira Kiriko.
Yeah.
And their backline, they just do this never die comp, and it's not like great synergy wise, but the comp just doesn't die when the Orisa's on the point, especially Koth. These guys are dangerous on Koth because Junbin really understands how to cycle his cooldowns, do what he needs to do on the Orisa, and even look for like surprise plays, like hitting RuPaul off the map with the one comes to mind. I think Vin Dame also had a pretty good
Decent
weekend
week,
comparatively to what he's been putting up this entire season. So I'm happy to say that I think I was joking about it last week, I think, but the shock being out of the hellhole like living situations and into a more reasonable one actually did seem to help that.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think they definitely look better. And New York, isn't too much to say about New York. They didn't really change much up, you know what I mean? They're just still New York. They got a little rush comp. Secco's got another May. Shockwave had a good weekend. Shockwave put Toronto in a pack, bro. Like,
Shockwave will gamble all day, and he's winning.
He's winning the gambling, yeah.
The house is rigged.
Yeah.
I will say that I think Shock is also above Titans, because they did straight out beat Titans, and it was very close. It was extremely close. They could have lost that very easily, but with how they looked and how they looked like they improved so dramatically by just changing compositions. Like, it's like, dude, you have 4 people that don't die and you have Proper on your team. You're gonna do great things. It's just so simple. He will eventually kill everything.
He will.
I feel like now that they are figuring out their tempo more, and now that they're all just throwing out stupid ideas that are working, I feel like they are above Titans, because Titans looked like they hit a wall skill-wise. I don't know.
Titans probably, like, I mean, the comp just threw them for a loop, right? And because the Shock does on paper have like really good talent, right? Comparatively to Titans roster, which does have good pieces, definitely, and they work well as a core. I think the Titans roster may have just been too into the meta, right? And then when they were faced with something that they weren't, prepared for, they couldn't adapt fast enough. So I don't know. I kind of am okay if we keep Titans over the Shock, despite them losing to them. But if you want to put Shock up, I'm happy to do that as well.
If Shock and Titans had a rematch, are you putting it to Shock in 5 still? I don't.
No, I think I'd give it to
go
Titans because
right?
they'd have an idea of what to do. You give it to Shock again?
Shock also has a clutch gene, bro. They have the clutch gene as a team. If they're going to a map 5, Proper will pull up. Proper will pull up, bro.
Sure. But they also kind of, I mean, this is really all you need to be, really, is a Mickey Mouse map team, map type team, right?
Yeah.
Because they're really good on COP. They're guaranteed to get their COPs almost.
They got a push win.
And push wins are pretty simple as well with the Orisa comp, so
Mickey
That's
Mouse.
all you need. That's
so,
all you need.
Yeah. So sad that
This is how Overwatch works.
Yeah, fucking, you get your Mickey Mouse wins, you call it a day.
We're back to Krusty only having to win 2 map types.
Disgusting.
Like this, we had this before, right? Didn't we have this in
2019?
2020? Yeah. No, in 2020 we had this.
The Hogman.
Yeah. Oh
Disgusting.
God. Okay, yeah.
Anyway,
do Titans Shock then.
Wait, where are you, Frank? 'Cause I'm still kind of Titans ahead. So if you're Titans ahead, then we're.
Oh no, I did say in the rematch I think Titans would get it if they played the same meta, like rematch that game. I think Titans get it now with like knowing what they know.
They have the unfortunate circumstance of being the first team to play against the Shock or Orisa, and like the scrims are a thing, but there's no way Shock's playing Vancouver like before.
No, and there's no other like
no one else would do that.
Titans isn't scrimming another team that's playing that. They might now, like other teams might adopt it a little, but
I can't see. I think this was like Shock knew they were bad. They said, well, our best chance is to Mickey Mouse our way through this bracket. Didn't work out, but
yeah,
valiant effort. You know what I mean?
I do say Justice is above them, though, the other 2 teams.
Well, wait, this order like this and then Justice?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I like this.
I think Justice showed that they're a really like strong mid-table team that is able to punch upwards on a good day. Definitely valuable, right? Like you could definitely see them like we saw a week prior, right? Losing to New York, you could definitely see that. But I think Justice is like they're a solid team. They developed and kind of molded into a really good team. I'm hopeful that they're not a meta team and they have to rely on this kind of Ram style. I hope that they're able to thrive off of this.
Mirror has been pretty impressive, I think, on everything. Like I like his Winston. I like his Ram. I like the Junker Queen. His Junker Queen is really good.
I think we've noticed his calling is very valuable, right? Because
Yeah.
with Ben Best not being in even on like Monkey now, I think I think it's clear, and you see in the player camps he's talking a lot. I think it's clear that Mirror brings a lot of valuable soft skills too.
Yeah,
I think
like that.
Mirror's overall the better player too.
Yeah.
I feel like they're able to get more value with him. He seems to have a bit more hero diversity, and although they complement each other somewhat, with Ben Best leaning more towards like Ryan and Mirror more towards like the off tanks, Zarya, Junker Queen, whatnot. I feel like now that they're getting this rotation in place and they really are able to understand where to get the value with who, they're just gonna be better.
Yeah, I think that's real. High hopes for Washington moving forward. Number 6 is like way higher than most people had them. People were calling this like a bottom 3 team, like at the start of the season. And it's crazy to think that in the Pro-Am, remember whenever they put in Mirror and we were like, what the fuck is Mirror in for? You know what I mean? We're flaming Washington.
They saw it. They saw something.
Yeah, and in Pro-Am, it was the time to do it, and we laughed about. They made a fucking statement about it. They're like, we're sorry we let our fans down. It was crazy, but it's like, you were right, bro. Yeah. And then we have our top 5, 4 of which are obviously going to Korea. Gladiators default number 5, no doubts there.
Yeah,
the fucking Gladiators. They looked really good. They had a kind of a read on Florida. I think Florida just played bad in their first game, to be honest with you.
For sure.
And
that was uncharacteristic of Florida.
And then Kai fell off a cliff against Boston. He had like 2 final blows in 2 maps. It was really bad. Like that's the worst I've ever seen Kai play, maybe actually.
Probably. He's pretty consistent.
Yeah. And then
it's quite good.
It was so bad they just said, fuck it, Kevster, you're in full time on his scan now. I guess so. But I like them. They're an inconsistent team still. That's the thing. You find a way to take a Koth map off Florida, then they're in. But they couldn't, so whatever. Then it comes to Boston versus Florida, because we know Atlanta's at the top. We know Houston's at number 2.
Oh, do we know Houston's at number 2?
I'm saying Boston is number 2.
Oh my god, I was not anticipating this.
I'm tempted to put Boston 2.
I like Boston too.
And that's crazy for me. I'm very impressed. Like, I mean, here's the thing. Last week, I'm like, I don't want to put Boston above Glads because I don't know. Can they beat them? I just want to see it, right? We saw it. Dude, they delivered results this week. They were very impressive. The back line, outrageous.
Oh,
the tank line, they're running Smurf a lot. And
dude, less Kalios. We're getting there.
And when we see Kalios now, when it's less, it's kind of like a nice little spice. It's not as like detrimental, right?
Yeah.
You're not like they're not in the kitchen putting a bunch of freaking spice all over the meal. They're now just like, oh, here you go, a little on the top, right?
Actually, you can't have half spice and half food. It's got to be a sprinkle.
Yeah.
So true.
Not in my white household.
I like my chicken bland. So you want Boston ahead of Houston?
Okay. Houston could be better. I mean, this is like a blind call, but I do think Boston are hella dangerous. And if they took it to Atlanta, the week prior, I think now, given the results of last weekend, for that like added consistency in terms of my confidence in them, I think it's pretty safe to say Boston are heating up and could definitely, they have the player talent to be able to take down Houston. And I'm excited to see that match if we get to see it.
My thing with
I'm
Boston
good either way.
Is I don't love their rush still. I don't think the Bastion is a feasible like option heading into the top 6 in the league.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Bastion is going to catch anyone like it did on Washington, like it did against the Gladiators. I actually don't remember if they played against the Gladiators. I don't think they did. I just don't like it that much. And I guess Houston's rush isn't that good either, but I still probably trust it a little bit more than Boston is my thing.
The thing is, who do you trust more with the Tracer Sombra comp? Because
that's tough. I think
Boston
it's really close.
Looked so good at it. I feel like Boston is getting there to the Atlanta point of Tracer Sombra. Also, they put in Twilight and Izayaki sometimes, and they just run the Anakiri. Bro, their Anakiri is nuts.
But we're claiming that Houston's isn't.
I'm not saying it's not.
Violent.
I know. But like, dude, Twilight is right there on a gameplay. It's right there. And Izayaki is probably not as good as Violet. I think Violet is probably the best Kiriko in the league right now. But it's so close.
They beat Glads in the upper bracket final.
Yeah. Did they play the Bastion though?
Oh no. I'm just saying you mentioned mentioned that they didn't play
with the Bastion. Yeah, my bad.
That's where the Bastion was, yeah.
They played a lot of they played Rhine on Li Jiang, and it was something. I will say, Boston.
The Bastion,
I don't know what they saw.
There's a lot of Koth rounds where you're seeing the Bastion, and the fights, like, Birdring's getting a lot done, but I don't think it doesn't seem intentional. Like I said, there's a lot of fight-winning plays that they're highlighting. They're like, oh, Birdring went crazy with the grenade through the window, and it's like, dude, you think Birdring knew that his nade was going to bounce and land on two conveniently there? Yeah, that's what he was doing for sure.
Bird always knows.
You have the protractor right on your crosshair so that you know exactly the angle that you need to go.
I don't even think Birdring's like form usage is that like impressive.
No,
either.
I think MN3's was impressive against Dallas. I don't think his was impressive that much at all. He just kind of.
I will say they're supporting him really well. This backline is like doing very well in this rush. Yeah.
See, the only edge I would give for sure might be Decay's Tracer over Pelican. That's the only one I would, because Decay is a fucking monster. Decay's a beast. But every other character individually, it's like it's either even or you give it to Houston. I think maybe if you're really crazy, you can give Ana to Twilight. I think that's valid.
I give Ana to Twilight. I'd say
valid, which
Smurf is a bit behind Fearless and Winston, which is
and definitely
like whatever.
in like Ram and like Ryan and stuff.
Yeah.
I like Houston's comp a lot more. So I would still go Houston number 2.
Sombra for me in between those two, it's like they're even. They're definitely even. I feel like Happy and Bird has been looking so good.
Yeah.
I like Boston at number 2.
I mean, if you two like Boston number 2, we can go Boston at number 2.
Damn it, I love.
Frags, you're always that guy. We can't let Tom get away with this. Boston's too high.
Well, you see, now we've traded places, and I think we might be in another. God, I think it's crazy because it's just like I haven't seen Houston in a week, right? It's like we didn't see Houston in a week, and now Boston.
We haven't seen them in the high pressure situations. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we still like they're not. They're like. We're seeing a lot of Boston playing like super good. I guess Washington did take 2 maps off them. Damn.
Yeah.
Washington is able to take maps on anyone though. Like Alpha E will take his maps.
He's right. I think Washington could take maps off Houston.
Yeah, I feel like we're at that point.
I don't think the series is that.
I don't think it'd be that close. I agree.
Like Boston doesn't. Did Boston win Shambali? No, because Washington always wins Shambali, right?
I don't think they did.
Because Flora?
Yeah.
I don't think... I think teams...
It's the rush. Washington won on the rush.
Yeah, them not having a good rush is... Yeah, I'll go Houston still.
Yeah.
Because their rush is still not solid. I don't think the Bastion works the same against...
exactly.
Against Houston. Especially against, like, a main... Especially against the backline. As like good as Houston's backline is, I really don't think that flies. Like they will dismantle. Like Shu will dismantle you on Passion if he's on Ana or whatever he's on, and Fearless will know how to play around it.
Now, this doesn't mean whenever we do our Preds video like next week for the people watching, I might put Boston to win it over Houston, to go further than Houston or something like that, right? But in terms of their current power level, what I see right now, I like this. I like what we have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now Florida, just to touch on Florida, I really, really, really like their Moira Rush. I think they are the best at it in the league. I think that it might be the way moving forward on those kind of Koth maps. And I just think the tempo they play with, it suits them really well. You avoid all the dumb mace shenanigans and stuff like that. You can't get fucking owned in a dive or something crazy. I really like it. I think they'll just get better at it, and I think they will upset teams with it, probably.
You say that they're the best at it in the world
Yeah.
that we've seen. We're forgetting Fielder, Chio, Moira, Lucio. They're gonna go. I think they're gonna be very good at it if they choose to play it. I'm excited to. I just want to say I'm excited to see Atlanta if they play that style because they've got two guys who've trained in the rush dojo on these characters.
Dude, they're gonna play
but yes,
the
I do
rush
agree.
comp.
Florida's fantastic on those.
I feel like Atlanta's gonna play the rush comp. This is just a vision I'm having.
Oh,
They're gonna put their backline on Lucio Moira, and then Dong Hack is gonna crumble because he doesn't have Fielder and Geo carrying him on a break.
No, Hawk is gonna be.
Hawk
if they're
would be
playing
in
rush,
for that.
Hawk is
Hawk
in.
would be in for sure.
Hawk is really good.
And Hawk is really
Hawk
good.
is getting slept on, low key. Like,
Oh, 100%.
he's really
Top
fucking
6
good.
tank, maybe.
Yeah,
Top 6?
easily top 6. Easily, right?
I don't know about easily.
I don't know about easily either. Actually,
Yeah, calm down there, little guy.
he's in contention.
You
I don't want
said
to
it.
get into it. I don't want to get
Yeah,
into it.
he's there though.
You did say
Okay.
top 6.
I did
Okay.
say
You're the one who said it.
Not
Calm
easily.
down,
I
little
feel
guy.
like he's at the
Yourself.
6th spot.
Okay, final thing before we go. This is our NA. We're running this. We'll do a combined with the teams that are in it. These 6 teams. At the bottom, the easy pick is Spark. Surely
I agree.
has to be because they're like we were critiquing Boston's rush, maybe Houston's rush. This team's rush is appalling. It's abysmal. They will not win a single map on it.
They're the Boston of APAC. They're not. Except they don't know that Bastion
And they
is
don't
a
have
guy.
Twilight carrying. They have fucking
Yeah.
Monk. Like Monk's good. Monk's fine. This is easily the worst backline in this 6th. Easily.
100%.
Doesn't even
Yeah.
come close. Like, whoa.
Yeah,
who are you
yeah.
thinking
No, you're
about?
right. You're right. Sorry. I'm saying. Sorry. I'm saying like
Whoa.
Monk on a good day can be better than Skewed, and I think Fixa and Langza aren't.
He hasn't had any good days this season that he's been better than Skewed. Let me tell you that.
We've seen it. Okay, the past Monk has been a very, very good support.
Sure. In the past, Skewed hasn't played flex support until
But
now.
for some reason,
Skewed is
I was
that guy,
forgetting
bro.
it was
I don't know.
Langza, so I agree with you. I forgot it was Langza alongside Monk.
Okay, now the next one is where we'll have some debate. So let me just put the NA how we had it, right? Because we know how we have our NA and we know how our APAC. Is it
So it's
Seoul
really just where
or
is Seoul?
Florida? Yeah, this basically is where is Seoul. Where do we put Seoul in this?
5th.
5th? You think APAC's
Yep.
that bad?
Yes.
I agree.
Dynamic, are we making this boring? Can you, or are you
I
playing
agree.
devil's advocate?
Dude, no, because I said that Infernal was gonna get blown out. I was talking to Tom about it earlier. I feel like Infernal will not be able to play their ball comp at all, dude.
No,
They're
no.
now gonna play into
0%,
actually
0%.
good Sombras.
They also haven't played it into any good backlines. There's no good backlines
Exactly.
in APAC.
Dude,
You think
is Apex just worse?
You think Shu, Fielder, or freaking Twilight or RuPaul are gonna let you play ball? They're gonna sleep you on cooldown, and then they have 4 elite brigs. You're not playing.
You're not doing it. You're
playing
not doing
ball.
it. You're getting
You
slapped.
can't
You're
play
getting
ball.
flailed. You're getting hacked. I
You're
mean,
getting Lucio booped if they play that.
And then
Okay.
whenever they go head to head against these teams, they're the worst Sombra team, right? MN3 Sombra, easily the worst one here. Not even close.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not winning in Rush because, well, you could win, but the Rush is decent. The Rush is okay. I think the Rush is decent. It's better than Sparks, worse than everyone else's. But you're not winning in the Sombra. You can't play your funky ball. Your Rush isn't that great.
66% of the time you're losing. And you can't be
At
doing
least.
that in Overwatch. Yeah.
At
I
least.
feel like it's
Where
going
are
to be
you
hard.
pulling
for
this
them.
number?
I don't know where he's pulling this number.
2
but
out of 3 of the compositions that they play, they will not win on.
I don't
in
think
my
they'll go over to any Moira thing as well.
I think if they are winning, they have to win on the ball. But that would mean that their ball is something like
Mag has to
devious.
be
You know what I
different,
mean? Mag
bro.
has to be outrageously good.
He's gotta
And the
pull something
follow-up,
new
the follow-up
out.
by Zest and MN3 has to be fantastic.
I think if they're winning, it's off of MN3 being the luckiest man alive. and just buying the entire convenience store worth of scratch cards. Is what I think. Because MN3, if they can decide that, you know what, he's just better than every Sombra player somehow, maybe that's how they can win. But it's looking tough for APAC fans right now.
Don't get me wrong. I would really love to see Spark go on a run. Or Infernal to go on a run.
Low-key, Spark have a better chance of going on a run than Infernal, but that's more of a bracket.
Oh yeah, because
they have some stuff. I like their Sombra comp more. But
also they have Shy and Leave, which is
scary.
If they're both on, it's done.
So nice little exiting segment where we shit on APAC. Not bad. But yeah, this is it. I like this. If I ever make a power rankings I don't like, then I'm a fraud, basically, though. So anything else we want to say?
No, I think I'm good.
We're good?
Boston's going to win it all.
Boston's going to win it all. Number 3, who's ranked in the power ranking, wins it all.
I said number 2, and I'm cutting them.
I think it's Atlanta's tournament to lose.
Yeah, me and Frags will be debating this more. I'll have a video like the one I did with Dynamic about who we think's winning mid-season. And I will not be picking Atlanta. So there's that. Keep an eye out for that probably this weekend or like early next week, whatever. Okay, goodbye. Subscribe, like this video, comment down below. I hate you. You guys made awful power rankings. Soul Infernal are the best. Fuck you. Okay, goodbye.